first question, I was wondering if it's possible to talk about Sepultura without using two words, Cavalera and Roots. And I think let's try not to use these two words, okay, during this time.
Agreed.
Okay, confirmed.
I can speak for myself, you know. I think I'm very proud of what we achieved with Sepultura. That's why we celebrated 30 years of the band and not only 20 or 15 years or something, you know. We take Sepultura as a whole career. On our set, we play songs from every album, you know, regardless of the formation or the label that we were in. We lost members like during different times. I joined the band in '87. Derrick says 20 years in the band. Um, why would be a curse? You know, it's like it's something very fantastic that we achieved together. You know, I think members have different choices. You know, they left the band to do something different, and we kept going on. You know, especially me and Paulo and Igor after Max left the band for 10 years. Igor left in 2006, and we got Jean Dolabella. And now we have Eloy Casagrande for 5 years already. It's a process of growing up, you know, as people, as persons, as musicians, as professional, you know, in the music business. And we are in our, I think, in our best times now, you know. I think it's the best formation. We have a great label. We have great managers working with us. We have amazing fans, you know, that kept the band together. And we're very happy, you know, believe it or not. We enjoy our life, you know, we enjoy our band, and it's a privilege to be a part of a band like Sepultura, you know. We play 76 countries in 33 years, you know, and regardless of the formation, here we are, you know, doing stuff, a great new album that is being very positive reaction. We have a movie talking about the Sepultura history coming out this year as well. We have many products in Brazil like beer, wine, you know, hot sauce and all types of different products with the brand Sepultura name. And, you know, I cannot complain, you know. All the difficult times and the difficult tests that we achieved or we had in our lives were great learning experiences, you know. We are better people and better musicians because of that, you know. Without all the trouble, all the problems we had, we wouldn't be here today. You know, so we embrace everything that happened with Sepultura, good and bad. You know, the same with fans. You know, we love how diverse the Sepultura fans are. You know, they don't think the same. They don't have the same opinion. You know, we love the haters. They are a great part of our history. You know, and we all are part of a great family. You know, like it or not. You know, so. I mean, in the end, the word that describes Sepultura is respect, you know, for everything that happened to this band and still is happening to the band, you know. So I don't know, the past is a great thing for us, you know. It really inspired us to do what we do today all the time.
Anyway, I also heard the opinion of the ex-leader, which name I won't use right now.
I mean, I see no problem talking about. You're talking about like the second question. You're talking about him, you know. So be direct, you know. Don't try to hide and stuff. I have no problem talking about anything, you know. So yeah, whatever you wanna ask.
After Roots, you haven't created anything good as a musician.
I just don't care, man. It's his opinion. Who cares? I mean. So what, you know, if he thinks that, you know. Many people thinks the same. So what?
Mission Messiah, it started for me like a really heavy metal journey. A ride with, I don't know, Halloween Climate. Then I've met Fernando Ribeiro from Moonspell. Have you invented the beginning of the album? Because it's unique for me.
I think it was pretty unique for us as well. I mean, it was something that happened very naturally in the writing process of putting the songs together. And once we started hearing the songs in the studio and putting everything in formation, it made more sense to have that song start the album. It grew into that way. It wasn't planned by any early on, so to speak. The song, as it was growing with the other songs, it naturally started to pick their own positions, so to speak. That happens after the time in the studio, sitting there, hearing the songs clearly, you know, very clearly, and you have a different understanding of it after the recording process, so it's much easier to figure out what song is going to go where. But I think it's something that happened very naturally, and it seemed that it was a great way to start the album, because it is a journey, and this is a good start to the journey to have the album start with Machine Messiah.
I think you know Chris Barnes of 6 Feet Under. Everybody knows him, and if you have a Twitter, he's making something like a statement. I promise to all my fans all over the world, I will never sing with a clean voice. So disagree.
Yeah, I would never say anything like that because I'm a different artist.
Yeah,
You know, there's certain artists that will love to stay in the box. You know, for me, I love to do. I've always been a singer, and I've always sang, scream, and I'm an artist, a musician. So I'm going to use my voice in any way that I possibly can that I feel goes with the music. I think that's something that's very logical to do as an artist.
What's the fans here? It's maybe not far different because it's all Sepultura, of course, but it's different than the previous one plays.
Yeah, I mean, I hope so. I mean, just the fact of to have a new album, you know, the name "New" means new things. You know, we have toured the world for 3 years. You know, for the Mediator album, we celebrated 30 years, like in a special way, playing very special shows in São Paulo and Brazil and Czech Republic, like our families and friends. You know, celebrating such a important mark. And we did a song Sepultura Under My Skin, you know, to celebrate the 30 years, especially to the fans who have the Sepultura tattoos and show their passion and their respect for the band, you know. And all that really inspired us to come up with some new ideas, you know, because, like I said, every tour or every cycle, we visit new places. This time around, you know, just to mention two, we went to Georgia and Armenia for the first time. And, you know, you see the differences between how computers and how cellular phones and all the technology in general affects a country like Armenia and United States, for instance. You know, in Armenia they have organic food all over the place. It's very natural for them. They never really got something industrialized. Remember when we had all the restaurants and everything was organic? In the other hand, in the States, you see people hunting for organic food, you know, trying to get away of the industrialized artifacts and food and everything. So this is just one aspect of how the world and traveling influence us to come with new ideas. And Machine Messiah is nothing more than what we see today. It's not a futuristic sci-fi idea from from future or a distant past. You know, it's what we see today. You know, how important is a smartphone and computers and virtual glasses and, you know, all the technology that is maybe trying to help humanity to develop. But, you know, in the Machine Messiah, we try to find this balance, you know, not to lose our human ability and not really to be enslaved by robots, you know. It seems to me that robots are not really helping us to develop our intellect, you know. There's so many frequencies and energies around the universe that we cannot really explain, you know, and we're not really developing our intellect to have more connection to nature itself. And you know, at the same time, we're letting robots doing stuff for us, and we're getting lazier and dumber and fatter, you know, and really like more stupid and stuff, you know. So this was the main influence that we found, you know, to go after the cover. You know, I went to the internet, you know, to research new artists. Yes, you know, it's a balance, you know, to find a balance. We're not here to kill robots, you know.
Yeah, but how to explain to young people, because I understand you, but I'm the old freak, okay, let's say. But the young people take Sepultura by Spotify.
It's all by
Not-
discipline.
not
It's
with
all
Spotify.
discipline. It's all discipline. It happens the same with video games and stuff. You know, it happens like in your generation when you were a kid, you know. But your dad or your mom, whatever, you said, you know, you're only gonna
Born in
play.
communism.
No, it's just an example, you know. It's just an example. You see, again, how technology changed, you know, during your time of a teenager and now, you know. And but in Brazil as well, you know, we took a little longer to get like technology compared to Europe and the States and etc. But video games is all about discipline. You know, you're gonna study, you're gonna have your exercises, you're gonna have your time with your friends and family, but you can play like an hour or two a day. You know, if you have discipline, if you have balance, anything can be very fruitful and positive. It goes with everything. You cannot go to your house and spend a week watching Netflix or something. Just doing nothing. You're gonna get having a lot of back problems, and gonna have you need sun, you need people, you need the atmosphere, you need nature. So it doesn't depend on what kind of technology. It's all about discipline. So that's what we're trying to find.
And even when you talk about this discipline, it's so important because even people like Steve Jobs, with his kids, he never let them have that.
Yeah.
He never let them have iPads and things like that. For it's like very disciplined for a reason, because he knew that there is this balance that's needed, and it's very necessary. And that has to be enforced at home at a very young age, because kids grow up nowadays. It's almost in their left hand or right hand, a phone or an iPad. But it's really the parents are paying for that phone, paying for those products, and they're enabling them to kind of lose touch with the certain basics that are very necessary to grow as a human being.
It's easier to learn a kid to play Angry Birds than to speak Our Father, yes?
No, but religion was imposed as well, Yeah, of course. You were born, you don't even think about, you don't even have an opinion, and you baptize. You have a week or whatever, 10 days of life, You have no choice right there, So religion was imposed as well, even worse than Angry Birds, Yes, through violence, to crusades and, all the invaders from, Portugal and Spain then came down to Brazil and discovered Brazil with the cross, trying to change everything with the Mayas. No, I'm not talking about Christianity.
Yeah, of course.
And don't try to put words on my mouth. I'm saying about religion and the way video games, and your analogy, using religion and video games, Angry Birds and the sign of the cross. I'm trying to say that historically, religion was far worse because it was very much imposed, and if you don't follow, you die, basically, So in the end, it's all about discipline and choice. I think freedom has to deal with choice. You have to have information, to gather information, and internet. One positive things about the internet today is that you can balance, different information. Not only the traditional official media, but all the alternative media that you can find. Of course, there's a lot of lies on the internet, but on the official media as well, there's a lot of lies going on that people say it's official. Yeah. So, you have to read a lot. You have to go find different websites that gonna talk about the same topic in a different way, expand your possibilities of the world, in general and stuff. So, it's in the end, again, respect and discipline. You can really make the best of everything, basically.
Is it the same crab as on Arise album or not?
I hope so. I don't know. We have to ask that to Camille, and I actually didn't ask, but maybe she's a fan of Michael Whelan. Michael Whelan was the artist who did all those early covers for Sepultura, and yeah, it can. You can have kind of like a connection with Arise, in a weird way. I think it's cool, if it was done on purpose. If it was done on purpose, fine. If it wasn't, even better. But it was not that really brought my attention. It was really, the concept of this God machine, which is the name of the painting. It was done in 2010. And I was looking for a new artist, with the name of the album already defined, like Machine Messiah and all the concept. And, this God Machine came, and it was great. An artist from the Philippines, which is totally different from, Europe or America or South America. We know so many different artists around, but I really wanted to find something new or somebody new. And Camille appeared thanks to the robots.
How impressive for all artists all over the world can be election in the United States of America, because Donald Trump, believe me or not, has put a lot of fresh air into the artist world. To Madonna, to all the guys. Now they try to be more concerned about the society and the living. So do you think maybe it's not the best choice for the world, but it's good opportunity for the artists and for musicians to speak?
It leaves it open for sure. I remember when Ronald Reagan was elected, and that was, a big movement for artists to be more involved in politics. A lot of artists are really just opposed to it, but it was a different vibe. I think now it's opened up to something even bigger. It's not necessarily just Trump. It's certain ideas that are being put out there. It's not. There's a lot of right wing leaders that are appearing around the world.
Yeah,
S-
France, Marine Le
right.
Pen, yes.
So this is not only America. I mean, this is a vibe that's going on, like people's mentality of thinking, of this fear. You know, that's really people are being played on. Their fear. You know, people. I mean, there's these leaders using their fear again, in order to manipulate a mass amount of people, in order to do certain things, offering them security, saying like, you know, we'll protect you. We're going to build a wall. We're going to do this. You know, and
With Mexico, yeah.
yeah, I mean, people start to believe it. You know, I mean, they'll believe anything that's just like, just make us safe. You know, make me and so, I mean, it's going to make people speak out. And I think in Brazil there was a lot of political things that were happening that was great, that was needed for people to be out in the streets. You know, there was so much corruption just consistently happening there, where people just have had enough. They've always had enough, and it was like great seeing that this change of just people being concerned. You know, it's really important for people to stand up and say, you know, how they're feeling, and but also at the same time they need to respect, you know, the other person's opinion. You know, and this is a problem that was happening in the U.S. consistently, where they're putting down another side, or you know, really, you know, pushing that other side down. You're not having a compromise, not having a discussion, just kind of wiping out their point of view and just leaving it at that. But there has to be an understanding and a dialect, you know, consistently. No, I think we should really just talk. You know, I mean, it should be a lot of like, so they have their opinions, you know, but I'm still, even though I don't believe them at all, you know, it's important to have a dialect and not, you know, down that person like, oh, you're an idiot, you're for your decision, you're dumb. It's not going to be a dialect. It's just going to be like an arguing match. So I think it's important to listen to every side.
Exactly.
You know,
About respect, you know, right or left, you know, there are horrible things on both, but there are great things on both as well. You know, I think once again is respect and balance. You know, not one wing or the other. You know, and that's very hard for people to understand. You know, in a democracy, um, everybody has to have a voice, and everybody means everybody. You know, not only one side or not one point of view from some magazine or press. Everybody has to be listened, you know, and the majority, you know, will choose the best way for everybody to live together. You know, at least that's the concept of democracy. I think I have, you know. Other thing different than that is just a dictatorship, you know, and we don't need that. I mean, we need the freedom really to speak and be heard, and have arguments, you know, not guns or violence, you know, to prove you're wrong or right, you know. But I mean, let's see what will happen. I think we have the privilege to have the music to express what we think and what we feel. We go to so many different countries, you know, talk to fans and everything, and there's hope, you know. There's a lot of great people around, man. I think the media makes everything looks really worse than actually it is, you know, and create fear, create stereotypes and phobias, you know, and that we don't need that. So art is here to try to help us, and we make the best that we can.